Quantum Management, Engaging Employees as Co-Creators. Hi, let's talk about a fundamental shift in leadership, moving from top-down control to co-creation. In traditional organizations, leadership dictates strategy, assigns tasks, and expects employees to execute plans efficiently. But in today's dynamic world, the most successful organizations recognize that employees aren't just workers, they're innovators, problem solvers, and key drivers of progress. Quantum leadership understands that engagement isn't something you impose, it's something you cultivate. When employees feel like their voices matter, that their ideas shape decisions, and that they have real ownership over their work, they go beyond just doing their jobs. They actively contribute to the evolution of the organization. Imagine a manager, Sophie, who used to believe that leading meant making all the big decisions and ensuring her team followed through. She was hands-on in everything, approving every detail, refining every process, and expecting the team to execute precisely as planned. At first, this seemed efficient, but over time, the team's creativity declined, engagement dropped, and people became hesitant to take initiative. They were waiting for instructions rather than proactively solving problems. One day, Sophie made a shift. Instead of directing every move, she started inviting the team into decision-making. She asked them, "What do you think we should prioritize? Where do you see opportunities for improvement?" At first, the team hesitated. They weren't used to having their input valued at a strategic level. But as Sophie encouraged participation, something changed. People started sharing ideas, owning initiatives, and collaborating in ways that hadn't happened before. By shifting her role from a commander to a facilitator, Sophie unlocked something powerful: collective intelligence. The team didn't just follow directions, they helped shape the company's direction. They weren't just working for Sophie's vision, they were building a shared vision together. Organizations that embrace employees as co-creators create environments where autonomy fuels engagement, collaboration drives innovation, and ownership fosters accountability. Teams work differently when they feel that they are an integral part of shaping the company's future rather than just executing someone else's plans. This isn't just about making employees feel good, it's about creating the conditions for real innovation. The best ideas don't always come from the top. When leadership trusts employees to experiment, challenge assumptions, and contribute beyond their job descriptions, companies become more adaptable, resilient, and forward-thinking. The real question is, are we treating employees as passive executors, or are we empowering them as co-creators of something bigger? Sophie's shift in leadership didn't just change the way her team contributed, it transformed the energy of the entire workplace. One of the first real tests of this new approach came when the company faced a major product launch setback. A critical feature had compatibility issues, and the original plan wasn't working. In the past, Sophie would have gathered executives, made a decision behind closed doors, and then instructed the team on what needed to be done. Instead, she brought the engineers, designers, and product managers together and posed the challenge to them directly. How do we want to approach this? What's our best path forward? The response was remarkable. Instead of waiting for leadership to dictate the next steps, the team self-organized into working groups, brainstormed alternative solutions, and developed a revised rollout strategy, one that not only fixed the issue, but also improved the user experience in ways leadership hadn't originally considered. The launch delay turned into an opportunity for innovation, and because the team was directly involved in shaping the solution, morale remained high despite the setback. Another moment of transformation came when Sophie rethought how team members were assigned to projects. Traditionally, employees were placed into roles based on availability and business needs, with little consideration for their personal interests or strengths. Recognizing this, Sophie started holding quarterly team visioning sessions where employees could share their personal goals, interests, and areas they wanted to grow in. What she discovered was eye-opening. One of her engineers, David, had been quietly working on back-end systems for years, but had a strong passion for customer experience and wanted to contribute more directly to product strategy. By shifting David into a cross-functional role where he could bring his technical expertise to user-facing decisions, the company saw an immediate boost in user-centered design thinking and more intuitive product development. Sophie also started delegating ownership of key initiatives to her team members. Rather than controlling every aspect of process improvements, she encouraged team members to identify bottlenecks and propose solutions. When one of her designers, Maria, pointed out inefficiencies in the company's design review workflow, Sophie didn't just take note. She asked Maria to lead the effort in restructuring it. Given the trust and freedom to shape the process, Maria collaborated with cross-functional teams, streamlined approvals, and implemented a system that cut turnaround times by 40%. These weren't just small internal shifts, they were cultural transformations. Employees were no longer passively executing tasks. They were actively designing their work, their roles, and the company's future. The organization evolved from a place where leadership made all the decisions to one where everyone felt empowered to contribute, innovate, and take ownership. By treating employees as co-creators rather than executors, Sophie built a workplace where engagement was fueled not by obligation, but by authentic participation, curiosity, and a shared sense of purpose. The real question is, are we creating environments where employees simply comply, or are we fostering workplaces where they lead, innovate, and help shape the future? How Sophie's choice transformed leadership and team engagement. Sophie's decision to shift from a directive leadership style to a co-creative approach changed not only how decisions were made, but also how her team functioned. By moving away from a top-down management model, she created an environment where employees felt valued, trusted, and empowered to take ownership of their work. This shift increased engagement, improved collaboration, and unlocked new levels of creativity within the team. One of the biggest changes was in how challenges were approached. Instead of leadership making decisions behind closed doors and passing them down, Sophie invited employees into the process. When a product launch faced delays due to technical issues, the team was brought in to discuss solutions. The result? Employees who felt personally invested in overcoming the challenge, leading to faster problem solving and unexpected improvements that benefited both the product and user experience. By giving employees a say in their career paths and project involvement, Sophie also saw an increase in motivation and job satisfaction. When team members were allowed to align their work with their personal interests and strengths, they became more engaged, more productive, and more willing to contribute ideas beyond their defined roles. David, an engineer with a passion for customer experience, transitioned into a hybrid technical strategy role, leading to better product decisions and increased user satisfaction. The impact of co-creation was especially visible in process improvements. Instead of Sophie dictating how workflows should be structured, she encouraged employees to identify inefficiencies and propose solutions. Maria, a designer, took ownership of streamlining the company's design review workflow, leading to a 40% reduction in turnaround time and a more efficient collaboration between teams. By trusting employees to lead change, Sophie created a culture of continuous improvement and innovation. A critical outcome of Sophie's leadership shift was higher resilience within the team. When challenges arose, instead of relying on Sophie to dictate the next move, team members collaborated, problem-solved, and adapted on their own. This ability to self-organize and take responsibility reduced bottlenecks, sped up decision-making, and created a more agile, responsive organization. Beyond productivity and efficiency, Sophie's choice led to a cultural transformation. Employees no longer saw themselves as mere executors of leadership's vision. They felt like true contributors to the company's future. Team morale improved, turnover decreased, and the organization became a place where people felt inspired to bring their best ideas forward, rather than waiting for instructions. Sophie's story proves that leaders don't have to have all the answers. They just need to create the right conditions for their teams to thrive. By embracing employees as co-creators rather than task followers, she built a workplace where engagement, creativity, and ownership flourished. The real success of any leader lies not in how much control they maintain, but in how much they empower others to lead, contribute, and grow.